Hi, I'm Kristen.
And hi, I'm Audrey. This is Quiet in the House.
Cheers. Sexy.
Cheers. Episode 3. Oh, I have to drink. Duh.
A popular topic that I think we get asked about a lot.
Yes.
Is cruise ships and our experience that we've both had working on cruise ships as performers.
It is an industry within the industry, I say. How did you get into it? Did you always know you wanted to do it?
I grew up going on vacations on cruise ships with my parents. We cruised like always. They just thought it was so much easier. And so anytime we were traveling, majority of the time it was on a cruise ship. So I loved cruising and I always wanted to be a performer. I just wasn't sure what that was going to look like for me. But I knew that if I was going to do it, I needed to do it right out of college. And so I had my sights set on it. And if it didn't work out, I don't really know what the plan would have been, but it did just happen to work out for me that way. And I booked something the summer after I graduated. So
was it that quick?
It was really quick because I got the first audition like May and I started in June of 2022.
After graduation.
It was like during graduation that I was auditioning for it.
I forget how quick that turnaround was.
I know. What about you?
When I got to New York City, it was kind of one of the only rooms I could get into were the cruise ship auditions.
It's very accessible.
Very accessible. Like, I came into New York, no agent, non-union, and you're able to, I mean, it might be different now, but at the time, you could just look up their website and email them, you know, videos, and you can have access to the whole, like, Sandy packet for Greece. Oh, well, Greece is gone now, but
rip. What? No.
Oops. But, like, Tracy Turnblad, you could look up the whole audition packet and just, like, send them your video.
But you'd never been on a cruise ship.
I'd actually, yes. It's funny that you, like, I've never vacationed on a ship before. I've only worked.
Not once.
Never for pleasure. Never.
It's a different world.
And I don't know how going on it now for vacations would be. I mean, you just came on mine for a vacation.
Yeah.
It seemed like you had fun. I had fun.
No, it's a blast.
I was auditioning for a long time for anyone that would see me.
For lots of cruise lines.
Lots of cruise lines.
So you didn't have a preference on which? It just was the cruise line gig.
I'm not a production singer. I'm not. Like, whenever I went into those rooms, they were like, no, thank you. But if I ever went in for a book show, they were like,
that was my struggle for a while. Like, the pop rock stuff was just not my bread and butter.
Which is now our musical theater world. But, yeah, production vocalist is a different breed. They, like, God, I can't do it.
I did one of those. And I came out of it a different performer, which was good for this day of age. But
we were both rehearsal swings. That was our first gig, our first way into the cruise ship world. And we haven't discussed it, but like rehearsal swings I think are specific to cruise ships. For those of you that don't know, they get paid to go to the rehearsal studios, wherever that is, probably in Florida, and they just get paid to learn the show. Yeah. And often they'll get a contract after, which happened for both of us. But I do know people that it didn't happen.
Because I have heard that they also sometimes use them as trial runs. That's like a rumor I've heard about rehearsal swings.
To see if they want to work with you?
Yeah, is to kind of see like how the company can see how you work. And it's a good chance for them to get to know you in the rehearsal studios to then pitch you for something larger.
Which is kind of stressful. When I was a rehearsal swing, I was like, this is an audition, like every day.
I didn't feel that way at
You didn't.
But I don't think I was viewing it like that because I was approached to do it. So I was like, they needed someone. So it wasn't like I was necessarily auditioning for projects. So
we have a guest.
Sorry. Lucky.
Wait, Lucky, come here if you're going to.
Come here, bud. Video?
He's shy.
Yeah, so that was, I guess, different in my world, was that you were auditioning to be a part of the show that you were then a swing for, and I was kind of just asked, they need... Go away.
Lucky really wants to be in this video.
He's
Lucky's debut.
Lucky's debut. And so, for me, I guess, because my audition process, I happened to know someone within the company who knew that I was interested in cruise ships, and she was looking for something super last minute is what it felt like. She reached out to me and was like, I'm gonna pitch you for this, I just need you to send me a couple videos, and then I got the job. Speak on yours, like on your behalf, since you were auditioning for 6 and then got the swing. What did that look
my
like?
First ship was 6 the musical, so that audition process was a week long. Like, I was in every day. Here's Lucky again.
Are you serious?
Are you a diva? Are you a little attention
There's no way.
seeker?
Is he about to jump on the table? Do not.
It's fine. He can do whatever he
Sorry.
wants. As a rehearsal swing, I was like so depressed at the end of that month of rehearsals because I was like, I want to go on the show.
I
was
get so attached.
Crying every day. Whenever I did my like last swing run, I was like, wow, this is really sad. But I was hearing whispers in the studio of like, ooh, we don't have a swing for the next 6 contract.
An onboard swing.
An onboard swing. And I, instead of like pushing myself at them for it, I kind of just trusted my work because I knew I did a fucking fantastic job in that rehearsal room. Like I was I love a rehearsal room. And yeah, a month later, I got the offer to do Bill and Seymour Howard on the ship. So yeah.
Which is so awesome.
Yeah, it was cool.
No, swinging is fun. I enjoyed it, but it was like, even though my first swing contract, I wasn't necessarily wanting to go on board with those shows. You just get so attached to the cast. And I was like, well, now I've spent 2 months with this cast and they're all about to go get on a ship in Hawaii together and I have to stay here. Like that was the hardest part for me.
But it was really sweet. Like when I opened on the ship with my new cast, my first 6 cast like sent us like a happy opening because they were still on the Bliss. So they were like all in their 6 queen costumes and they were like happy opening. And I was like,
that's really cute.
Yeah. So another reason why we have rehearsal swings is the medical.
Oh gosh.
To work on a ship, you have to pass a medical. Hey, Lucky. In case, like, just so, because you're floating in the middle of the ocean, you can't have any pressing matters health-wise, both physical and mental, apparently. But we have rehearsal swings because sometimes people don't pass their medical in time to come to rehearsals, so those rehearsal swings need to step in, or sometimes something medically happens in the rehearsal room where they can't go on the ship, so the rehearsal swings have to then step in to go on the ship.
The medical is absolutely ridiculous because
it's terrible.
I mean, your experience is crazy. For cruise line number 1, it was all covered, but sometimes it would take 4 weeks for the medical company to get back.
It's the most nerve-wracking
cruise line,
thing.
And then I'm 3 weeks late to my rehearsal because my medical's running late, and that is just like the worst feeling in the world. And they can get you over anything.
Imagine you get your dream offer for a show, and then they're like, okay, you have to do this, this, and this. Go to get your chest x-rayed, and I'm gonna tell this story later, but your butthole examined, like you have to do all these things, and then you have to wait a month to know if you can actually do the job you want to do.
And you've heard them cancel people's contracts over the silliest
I've heard
things.
ADHD.
Yeah, I've heard of
my friend.
Someone told them they had anxiety and then they failed them.
You had Invisalign?
I had Invisalign and they tried to test me on that. They were like, are you going to have 9 months worth of it?
Birth control too.
They were like, are you going to have that for your entire contract? Because if you run out, then you can't go. And I was like, I'll be fine.
I'll be fine.
I won't die without my Invisalign. Like, it'll be okay. Unfortunately, that leads a lot of people to lie in their medicals.
Yes.
Which happens a lot.
I can tell you a story about that. So it's my second medical I have to do, and it's different this time. 2 years have passed, and the doctor's like, so unfortunately I have to do an examination to check for hemorrhoids. And I was like, oh, I didn't have to do that 2 years ago. And she was like, yeah, well, unfortunately someone lied on their medical that they didn't have hemorrhoids when they did, and they started bleeding on the ship, could not stop bleeding, so then they had to helicopter them off the ship, which probably cost them thousands of dollars. And so then she had to check
trauma.
Literal trauma. And I had to pay $1,000 for that medical.
That is insane.
Out of pocket. And not every cruise ship's like that.
The one I worked for, we did not have to pay for medical.
Yeah, I don't know which ones reimburse or not, but for mine, I had to pay out of pocket $1,000. And imagine if I didn't pass that medical.
Then you're $1,000 out.
With no job.
I mean, they have to have some sort of reimbursement for that situation. Like, that is... I can't believe you had to pay for that. Well, we've talked a lot about what happens before you get on the ship, but how about when you get on the ship? What was like a day in your life? What did that look like being a singer on the ship once things had settled in?
Both of my contracts were very different. My first one was like a 10-day cruise in the Med, and we did like literally 2 nights of shows, and I had every other day off. And also I was a swing, so I wasn't even doing shows every week. So sometimes I'd go like a month with not a single thing to do. I was like show captain or whatever, but I think my last contract was a bit more like a day in the life, 7-day cruise. Embark day, I would have to do muster, so checking in cruise guests to their muster station. So that was like 3 hours in the morning. Then it would be a tech run for our production show, where you've literally just run the whole show for technical purposes, because it's dangerous, I guess. And then we would do 1 show that night, 2 shows day 2. Then I'd have 3 days off. There's probably drill on one of those days off at 9 a.m.
So weird.
Yeah, and then we did Mamma Mia day 6, and day 7 was a 2-show day. So basically all of the shows were sandwiched in. It was like 1 show, 2 show, 1 show, 2 show, and then 3 days off.
I mean,
it was luxurious.
I had 2 very different contracts from each other too.
Yeah.
So my first one was technically a book show. We were doing Swing, the musical, and we also did 2 other production shows and a Broadway cabaret as singers. Those were ranging between like 7 and 11-day cruises. We did also the Mediterranean, the Caribbean, Bermuda. We did all of that. So those cruises were like, I would say every other day we had double shows and a tech the morning of. But other than that, I personally had absolutely nothing to do. So I would just get off like every day, live my life. And then the second contract was a little unique. It was a 6-star luxury ship, and so it was a lot smaller. We had 4 shows as well, and they were fairly spread out because each cruise was about 10 to 20 days, and so we were spread out 4 days between those 10 and 20 days, and the other days we were just free. And it was also a special ship in the sense that half of the guests were on board for 6 months. Because they were just traveling the world on our ship. So we were in a different port every single day for 6 months. We had like maybe 1 sea day to get to another country or continent. And then
crazy.
We would hang and do whatever. And that was cool because we had our shows, but we also had to create our own shows as a cast.
Which
because
I love.
Those guests were seeing the same shows for 6 months. And then other guests would filter in and out every week or 2. So we were doing the same shows, but then we'd create new shows that were special for those guests that were on for 6 months. So they'd be like private events that those guests could come to and experience. I also had a lot of time in my hands, so that was when I created my solo show, which we talked about.
There's no other place where you have the time and the resources, like having
to build your own show,
musicians, and having like 5 days off to build your own show.
It was incredible. And then it was a little stressful in the sense of like, they were like, you know what, we need a show tomorrow. And the cast was like, we can't make a show by tomorrow. So they were like, Kristen can go on. Yeah. And I was like, okay. They're like, she's building a show. So then I had to just throw something up in 24 hours. But it was also just like, you know, creating shows with your 12-person cast from scratch. And
drama, I bet.
There was drama. But we also had that cast was...
That's good.
An incredible cast. We worked together really well. I think it honestly bonded us more than hurt us. But... it was still like, it's just stressful because you got a lot of personalities in one room, and we're building a show around the 12 of us and our talents and what we bring to the table. So it's like
we're living
in
eating, breathing, working with the same people for like the lifestyle of it. It feels like college.
It's like a BFA musical theater class 2.0. But you're with them constantly.
Yes, but from like all over the world. A lot of, there's just a lot of different aspects that
you start to feel like siblings. You're living on a tin can with each other for 9 months.
That's one thing I wish ships had, was a therapist. I think it would improve the quality of life for the performers, for the crew members, period.
For everyone.
For the guests. Like, if their crew members are having a good old time, the guests are. So
yeah, for sure.
I wish they had. Hi, Lucky.
Something like that.
Hi. Do you have anything to say?
Part 45.
Please say something. He's shy. Should we talk about the difference between a book show and a production show? I do feel like the book shows are dwindling on ships.
For the cruise line I worked on, they're like gone basically. Yeah. But cruise lines like cruise line number 2, they're picking them up like candy. So there's.
Did you say that on purpose?
Because of the new one.
Yeah, I mean, the difference really is. I actually don't know how to.
I don't even know what their rights situations are. So that's I don't know.
I know the cruise line I worked for, they create their own production shows.
So did ours. Okay. But I also have no idea what the rights situation are.
But most of the time, it's like pop. Sometimes they do musical theater
shows. Yeah, I had a musical theater based show.
Yeah, but it's mostly like singer and then dancers dancing.
Yeah.
And do the dancers dance in production shows?
Singers.
The dancers sung.
Oh, our dancers never sang on either contract.
Oh, wow.
Because the book show I did, Swing, actually is only featured on 4 singers. So when it was on Broadway, there were only 4 singers.
Wow, I didn't know that.
So it was a great show to take on to a cruise ship because it's a book show, but you only have to have 4 singers and then a group of dancers.
Let's talk about that. I'm going to talk specifically about Mamma Mia. How, like, the logistics of casting Mamma Mia, but also Blue Planet. Don't laugh.
Well, they clearly don't care about Blue Planet.
No, but they do because the dancers are eating.
Yeah.
They're eating.
Well, so were you guys. But it's also
whatever. But
some of those characters just don't make a ton of sense for who they're playing in Mamma Mia. So it's like,
because some of our dancers are like, I don't sing.
Fair.
But they were being forced to like sing like gimme like.
I feel like that's why Mamma Mia makes sense because like your ensemble isn't singing their like butts off to Mamma Mia music. Like they're just like vibing. You know what I mean? Like other than the understudies, they just kind of have to like chill and sing along to songs they probably know.
My friend who's a dancer, she was like, they told me to crescendo and I just like started singing higher and I was like, that's not it.
Nice try. I really do have to cast for the book show.
They do.
Because when I did Swing, I don't know if you have a similar experience, but Swing, quite literally, they brought in the Broadway director and choreographer. That's who we worked with.
Sick.
So they technically, I don't know if they were part of casting the show or like final decisions, but they were kind of given priority of everything because, I mean, they were in the room. Mm-hmm. So they would come and they would teach Swing and then we'd learn our other shows not with them, which was like the greatest thing ever because we got to work with like some really awesome names that did the original Broadway show.
Yeah.
But that was like very different because the cruise line really had no say over that show. It was just in the power of the director and choreographer. But then when we go in the other room and we learn Blazing Boots, Cheers, it was like totally different. I wasn't made to sing Man, I Feel Like a Woman, but I had to. Man, and then I was singing like a high C in the next show. So it's like, I just clearly wasn't. I was cast for one show and not the other. But you just make it work.
Tanya's like song in Blue Planet is like an aria.
Oh my gosh, literally.
And why she's like giving Beltris God.
But why did she kill it?
Down.
She's alto in this, and then she comes in here and she's a high soprano.
Like what the? I don't know who did that. Swings on the ship. We didn't have any coverage. Obviously, my first contract, I was the offstage swing, which I think works great for ships. I think they should all do it. Did you guys ever have to like cancel shows on the ship?
Yeah. Our rule with Swing was if anyone was out, we had to cancel because the Broadway director was like, you cannot do the show without one of your characters because there were 5. We had 10 dancers. It was 5 couples, and they all had duets. And then the 4 singers were all leads. So if you lost one of them, we canceled the entire show. I mean, on the production shows, we would just reblock. Yeah,
reblock. I never knew what that term was until this last year.
Oh, God, yeah.
And I never want to hear that word again. Reblock. And then it would be like, all right, this person's out again. Look back at your reblock from 2 months ago. And then we just would do it.
But depending on the show, we would just, I mean, if it was a production show and a singer was out, we just had to cancel. Because, like, majority of the time.
So you didn't have coverage for singers?
No, specifically Blazing Boots, it's very female heavy. Like, the 2 female singers are basically the leads. They do, like, everything. So when one of us is out, like, one of us would be singing 10 solos, and it just was never going to make sense. So I believe we canceled Blazing Boots a couple times when a girl singer was out. I think we fought through when a male singer was out, but even that was really difficult.
Our coverage was internal. We had quite a bit of it, but like once one person's down, then like 3 people are down, and just like, you know, everyone's on top of each other, so everyone's sick at the same time.
Also, did you guys ever cancel because of weather, or did you reblock because of weather? If it was really rocky, did you just do it, or did you cancel?
We never canceled for weather, it was only for technical issues, like actual technical issues.
Which there was a lot of.
Mm-hmm. Blue Planet, I'm just gonna say it. If anyone's seen it, there's a bridge, there's lifts that go up and down, and
technical aspects in that show.
A lot.
And you guys are like controlling it, aren't you? I remember you telling me you had to like press buttons and stuff.
I'm pressing buttons to make that bridge move. So nerve-wracking. And we would do this thing. I mean, show stop. Our like stage manager gave us the like power to call a show stop when we felt unsafe, which I'm such a the show must go on girl. Obviously, if someone's wedged between the like platform, don't like, you know, I don't know. God. But people were like calling show stop for really silly things.
Only our dance captain was allowed to call show stop, which might be an issue in its own right.
I don't know
where are they all the time.
Correct thing is,
but they were only allowed to go off it. On our cruise line, they were only allowed to go off the dance captain.
Someone fought in the house of Mamma Mia while we were doing the arrival scene.
That's another thing.
Like screaming.
Something about performing a book show on a cruise ship that is so I don't know what the word is. I know what
you mean. You don't even have to say it. I know what you mean.
It's like I'm doing like
there's not respect.
There's no like people will just be walking in and out with drinks and food and like you're doing Mamma Mia or like these big production shows and it's just the etiquette doesn't exist on cruise ships. And I mean, why would it? Show. I get it. Like
it's a free show to them.
And you're probably drunk when the show comes on at 9 p.m. But it's also like I love doing book ships on shows, but I also think that they don't make a ton of sense.
6 really didn't. People would like have a blanket in the front row and would be sleeping.
That's like while people are paying hundreds of dollars to see 6 in New York City, and people are just seeing it for free on cruise line number 1. Like it's it's just like it's interesting because it's just a very different etiquette than you would receive in any other aspect.
100%. Other duties that I had to do, I didn't have any things to do in my first contract. I did drill once every other week, and I did not know what was going on. If the boat went down,
we would have been in a lot of trouble.
I would have been like, I don't know. Like, I didn't know what was going on. We would just have to be there at like really early. We'd all be in our pajamas and we'd all like talk and then get yelled at by like the staff captain. We were like, sorry.
The cast being in charge of making sure that everyone gets off the ship is mind-boggling to me. I understand why, because we're like communicators and we're loud and most of us, our first language is English. So like I understand, but it is such a large job for people that just really had to like BS their way through their training to make sure we had a job. Fire training? Did you do fire training?
I did it on the ship. I
had a blast.
I loved it.
It's on my resume.
Is it?
Yeah. Need me to fight a fire?
Oh my God.
I would be terrible. It was like a 10-hour training, but...
Did you have to get blindfolded and wear an oxygen tank?
And climb under... We did it in Port Canaveral. We had to like climb through a room on fire and blow it out.
An actual room on fire?
Yeah.
No, I was blinded on the ship. With other people. In like full gear, full oxygen tank. I almost had a panic attack because I don't like the idea of using oxygen like that.
Yeah.
And I had to find a dead body. And they left me. We were all like holding on to each other's shoulders to like,
oh yeah,
so you don't like lose them. And they fucking left me. And I almost went down the staircase because it was like in some random stairwell in the cruise
ship. Yeah, no, lots of crazy trainings.
Yes, those are fun.
That weren't our priorities at the time, unfortunately, because we're doing it while onboarding 4 or 5 shows, and it's like,
so yeah, you
where
get on
are my
the ship,
priorities?
You get on the ship, sign-on day for you as a performer, and they're immediately like into the training room, like into the depths of the ship.
And then you're gonna rehearse until 4 a.m.
The cruise ships that I was working for were constantly playing Titanic things and training, like as a joke, and I'm like, is this funny? I don't know. It's funny.
I'm sitting on a cruise ship right now, probably sailing. I don't want to see this.
It's always when you have family on. They're like, your company manager's like, hey, we have a training tomorrow. And I'm like, I'm supposed to be going on an excursion
with my mom and dad.
Like, they're like, yeah, we can't change it. And it's always
when you have like cool plans. It's always in the coolest places.
Drill.
My first contract did like absolutely nothing. It was
same. Yeah.
I
would have been in trouble.
We had to go to crew drills like I think every other or every 3 drills or something like that. Mm-hmm. Maybe once a month we had to go to a drill, and we were literally just standing as guests where we would go if we needed to onboard. Your number order priority on that ship. So everyone gets a muster or a drill number. And it was like on the Gem, the first ship I did, there was number 1, which is the captain.
I didn't know it was in priority order.
It is. And it's like, that's the order you can get off the ship. So the captain's last. So captain was 1. And it went all the way to, because our crew was pretty big, I think 1220. And the singers and I all got our muster cards, because you have to have it for working on the ship. And our numbers were 1220, 1219, 1218, and 1217. So we were like the very first crew off the ship if something happened. So we just went to a muster station and stood there for like once a month for 20 minutes. Wow. That was like literally the only duty I had outside of the show, that entire contract.
I got to be an actor once in drill, because sometimes they have you,
our dancers did that.
They want like scenarios played out so the crew can practice, because honestly everyone is clueless in these drills, I've learned. So once I was like a lost child, and they were like, just act like a child.
No one knows what they're doing.
So I like went to the spa, and I was like, I'm just gonna hang out in the spa and hopefully someone finds me. And then would have like wheelchair guests, so my friends would like be in a wheelchair being carried down the stairs.
Yeah, I've seen some crazy things. This is a good transition into the dancers versus singers situation. I mean, you're in rehearsals. There's dancers and there's singers. That's typically how you're cast for cruise ship number 1 specifically. And you're in rehearsals. You're treated the exact same rehearsals, same living space. You're living with each other. Everything feels equal besides like the pay, which I think everyone just like silently knows, but it's not really acknowledged.
See, my pay was the same in rehearsal.
Mine was as the dancers?
Singer dancer.
Ours was
It used to be different.
I knew that I had a single cabin, but I didn't understand how large of a difference it was. I was part of a group of 4 singers. I was the only one new to ships. The rest of them were a bit older than me and had done multiple contracts, so knew exactly what they were getting into. A lot of the dancers were new. A lot of them were older and had done a few, but like I'll never forget walking into my room. I had a officer cabin, big window, double bed, a desk, a couch, like beautiful. I think I was on like level 5 or 4 on the ship, which was very nice. And then the dancers come up because they wanted to come see my room, because I was friends with a lot of the new dancers, because that's who I huddled with. And they all walked into my room, and you can just like see their faces like drop, and they're like looking through and like, wow. They're like, this is nice. And I was like, well, let me see yours. And they're like, well, we're down on level 2 in bunk beds. Oh my goodness.
Oh, yeah, buddy, you gotta go. He's okay. He's
fine.
For those of you just listening, he's okay.
He's fine. Yeah, and so it's just like for that ship specifically, they were 2 or 3 levels below us. They had to share rooms, no windows. They were on the same level as everyone else. I mean, it just was like, and we were allowed to go anywhere on the ship. They weren't allowed to go anywhere unless some of them, they could only go to restaurants if they were with a singer, which was like the worst thing ever.
It makes no sense.
We were literally different tiers of officers.
Yeah, like, I will never understand why it is the way it is.
And even like we were talking about IPM was a big thing.
Oh my God.
There's this thing called in-port manning, which means that every time we're in port, there have to be a certain number of crew that stay on the ship for safety purposes and emergencies. And everyone has a color. There's 4 colors. I'm making them up. Blue, green, red, and orange. So everyone gets a color. And if it's your color that day, you can't get off the ship. You have to stay on. And it alternates every 4
it's for
port days.
In case there's an emergency while we're docked, there have to be a certain amount of crew members.
And the 4 singers didn't have that. We were like,
nobody in my cast have ever had that.
Mm-hmm. But all of our dancers did.
Other things my dancers had to do were spotlights.
That is actually crazy. We did not.
Because on my last contract, we have an ice skating show. We have an aqua show. And we have other things in the theater. But yeah, they have to spotlight every week. Not everyone, but it's like on a rotation.
Then they had the audacity. Their show closed. And they had their other cast on board.
You were there for that.
I know. I was on board for their last Mamma Mia. And they had the next cast on board because they were onboarding them while
we were closing.
You were still there. And so they got to see them do their first Mamma Mia. They made that cast do spots for the new cast's Mamma Mia.
Also,
insane. I'm sorry. I hate that.
No, the other cast are spotting Mamma Mia. Like, obviously not in this time, but like, we're all spotting for each other. I'm singing I Have a Dream spotlight because it's probably some tired person, probably an aqua diver or something. It's like, I have a dream. The spotlight is on my crotch, and I'm trying not to laugh because it's just the spotlight. And then it goes squeaky squeak up to my face, and then it goes squeaky squeak down while I'm just singing and trying to like end the show. The spots, it really it cheapens the show, I have to say.
Our contracts, like our dancers didn't have to. They had to do like library, and they had to do the drills.
Ours had to do box
muster.
office.
They were treated very well in comparison. Like we were very
to
lucky.
Other crew members
yes,
don't even.
We're very lucky.
Yeah,
it's lucky. Just the difference between a singer and a dancer that gets me.
Would you recommend it to other people?
Yeah,
I would too.
I would. I don't necessarily want to do it again just because of where I am in life right now. If the right thing came along, I would. But I think it's an amazing thing to do out of school, you know, high school or college, trying to save money to move to Manhattan. That saved me for sure.
I would recommend it too. I think.
Yeah.
Like, how many people get to say they do that? Every time I mention I've done that, like, to random people who aren't even performers, they're like, that's so cool. Like,
it is. It's awesome.
Heck? And the guests on the ship don't even understand on the half of it. They're like, so do you live on the ship? Yes.
Sorry, a jet ski comes and gets me every afternoon.
I come every day by helicopter. Like, what?
I love some of the questions that we get asked. There was like a whole...
I saw a TikTok today
There's a TikTok about it. I don't remember if that's the one where it's like... The jet ski one is hilarious. Where they're like, yeah, I take a jet ski home every day. And then, you get asked to just... They ask you if they let you out. They let you out? And I'm like... Let me out. I'm talking to you in the restaurant right now. Like, yes, I'm fine.
They're like, do you travel as a group? Like, how long are you here?
They're like, when are all of you guys doing your next show, and what ship is it on? And I'm like, I don't know what they're doing.
Do you want to do that? Do you just want to do this on land? Well, yeah.
Well, that'd be great. Susan, thank you.
Sometimes you want to hide from the guests. By the end of my contract, because I was really in guest area. I wanted to eat every meal in guest area because I could. I did have that luxury. By the end, I was in the mess because I was like...
I fought through. Again, there were these guests that were there for 6 months, so I like knew them by name at that point. They knew me by name. They'd be like, hey, Kristen, come eat with us. And sometimes I loved it, and sometimes I just was like, I don't want to eat with you.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Being allowed in guest area is great, but you do have to like be on a little bit.
I was told that we had to be on in port.
In port.
I was told, like, even when you're off the ship, if a guest sees you, you need to be on. Like, I'm just supposed to be on for 9 months. Like, how are people not losing their minds? And they are.
They are. Me.
They are losing their minds. But, like, you're just... And then I come back home, like, I'll be in New York City, and I'll, like, hold the door for someone. I'm like, hi, welcome. But I'm, like, at a McDonald's.
Wait, that's a funny topic. Can we talk about, when we get back to real life, all the things that you do? I just
remember that I can be a bitch, and I'm like, oh, amazing. I don't have to hold the door for that woman.
My thing's Wi-Fi. I'm like, did I log out of the Wi-Fi?
The Wi-Fi is crazy. When you first get off, I'm like, wow, I have access
I can scroll
to
for
the
3
entire
hours.
World.
It's insane.
My phone, like the minutes when I get off a contract is like I'm on my phone like 10
8
hours.
Yeah.
Insanity. But like, should we touch on love life for fun?
Girls, my first contract, I was in rehearsals, and one of my cast members was like, okay, who's dating on this contract? Like, who's like seeking things? And I was like, I'm not seeking anything, but like if something happens, sure. And maybe I need to stop thinking that way.
What I always tell people, and this is something that I feel like is important to touch on, I always say, like, if you're unsure about the relationship you're in, go on a cruise ship. Because I have seen both things happen where people just immediately realize that they're with the wrong person and they fall out of love incredibly quickly, unfortunately, because you're basically in another world. It just feels like not a different real place. Life. Or you just watch people like absolutely re-fall in love again with the person they're with and want nothing than to get off the ship. And then most of the people I've met like that have then got immediately engaged after the contract.
Coming from my perspective as someone who's single after cruising, going on cruise ships, working on cruise ships, people are looking to hook up on ships. Married people with children.
It's disgusting.
Sometimes people are actually open, but basically you can kind of get away with a lot.
With a lie. Yeah, like how am I supposed to know he has a wife and kids?
Exactly. I've said it feels like college a little bit because everyone's like, they're medically cleared and their background check cleared, so they're at least like a safe human. And you're all on the ship together. Real too. Oh my gosh, yeah.
There's a lot of beautiful women in these production casts. And a lot of very mediocre looking men. But, like, you can't have sex with the guests.
Find the one straight boy in your cast, and it does pass the time, and you've got 3 days off.
Yeah, for sure. And most of my friends that have dated on cruise ships fall in love with men that live in other countries. And then what do? I had a friend sleeping with our captain who was married with kids. And she didn't know until his wife and kids came on board. I also don't think you're supposed to sleep with the captain. She was getting all these perks. I was like, slay queen. Like, she was a dancer and she could do whatever the heck she wanted. And I was like, this is great for you, babe. Like, do what you gotta do. Because he was very sweet to her. Like, then he came on board with his wife, and she was like, well, I'm a terrible human being. And I'm like, how could you have known that?
I met a girl on my last ship. She came in like near the end, and she was like, I don't know, we were just like shooting the shit, and she was like, yeah, I don't like him, like he needs to have at least an officer cabin. I was like, period. She knows what she wants, and she's not gonna settle for less.
I'm not sleeping in a bunk bed with you, dude.
No,
and your friend next to you. No way.
No, officer cabins.
I would agree. If I was playing that game, that would have been a requirement of mine.
If you're on the ship for 11 months, some of these contracts are 11 months on board. Yeah. Go sleep with the captain. I don't know if I should say that. If he's single.
If he's single, you can go sleep with the captain. Or if you didn't know, you didn't know, babe. Like, cheers to that.
But go cruise.
Go cruise. Go do a cruise ship. It's fun. Make your own opinions.
Yeah.
People love it.
People love it.
I have friends that have been doing it for 10 or 15 years and have like 4 houses, you know, or whatever.
I wish I loved it.
I wish I didn't love it as much as I do.
You see, I wish I loved it because, like, I wish I could just do, like, 13 months on, 7 months off. You know? But I can't mentally do that.
I could absolutely do it. But I want to be on Broadway, and they will forget about me if I leave again. Yeah. So I'm going to stay until I'm old enough to play Donna and Mamma Mia. And Audrey can still be my Sophie.
Who will I be, Rosie?
You can be Sophie again.
I don't know about that one.
If I age correctly, though, the thing is like, I think at the end of the day, if you and me were doing Mamma Mia, I'd probably end up being more of a Tanya, and you'd end up being more of a Donna.
Definitely.
But, like, especially, like, our dynamic. Like, I would love to be a Tanya to your Donna. You would be probably, like, a Rosie to my Donna.
Yeah. I would love to be Rosie.
It just depends on who else they're casting, I guess.
Yeah.
Where we
anyone want to be our third? Like, anyone want to help? Okay, let us know.
I'm going to be our third. I mean, shit, we're going to be getting DMs, like, up the wazoo for that comment.
From all of our
listeners. Anyone want to be our third? We love you guys. If you made it this far, cheers.
Follow us on Instagram, TikTok,
stay tuned
Facebook.
For more.
Just kidding.
Okay. Do you have a Facebook?
No.
I don't know. I just do what Audrey tells me.
Love you.
Bye. Quiet in the house.
Quiet in the house.
That's so sexy.
Mm-hmm.